Morning, everyone. So today's class is going to be about the hips, and we're going to do, today's one of the first days I kind of start doing standing exercises. So we're going to do a couple of standing exercises, Padotanasanas mainly, just to get into the hip area to kind of work on how you do a forward bend with your legs up. So it's kind of how do you go through complete flexibility into the hip area, bring it more from the hip actually, and not so much from kind of the muscles on the inside, the vastus lateralis and all the muscles inside the sartorius. So the first thing that we're going to do is just start to feel your hip area as we kind of get a little bit of moment to be on space. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to bring your feet about 3 hands distance from you, 50 centimeters. If you know centimeters, I don't know how much that is in inches at all, but about 3 hands distance, otherwise that's the same. So your legs are kind of doing a small diamond shape, and you try to open your knees slightly, and then just give yourself a little bit of an impression of how the hips are today, whether they're very flexible or not. And because of the surgery, I can't do these many rotations. So I also take advantage of it to explain how to go into these kind of positions from a safer way. So what happened to me when I broke my ligament, my ACL, is that I was trying to get into Padmasana while on my head, while on Sirsasana in headstand. And because you have less control and you're kind of a little bit less aware, I went into it in a bit of a hurry, and then I ended up harming it. But that was not basically the injury. That was what led to finally to the injury. But according to my doctor, it was like years of me coming into hip positions and into these kind of hip forward bends with so much stress, too much stress on the knees, and then not really that much stress on the hips where it should be. So this is also kind of a preventive. I'm doing this class also as a way of preventing injuries and kind of providing some guidance of what happened to me so it doesn't happen to you. So the first thing is, as I said, find a diagonal shape on your legs. Then bring your hands into your iliac bones. So kind of these bones that are on the kind of on either side of your hips. Protuberances that are there, and then just be kind of massage them and then be aware of them. They are like the main representation of your hips when you are standing, so it's easy to see where your hips are and how they behave. So your hips are, this is kind of the top of your hips, they're going to go in the back like a cup. And a cup that holds your pelvic diaphragm, that holds kind of this area where you can lift and apply Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha. So it's also quite important because of it. So as you press into that area, I want you to start going under and slowly as kind of a small down, and with your exhale start going forward. Then stop with your exhale stops. Inhale a little bit, go a little bit up, and exhale, go down. Then again, stop. If you start feeling it on the knee, then once again, just press a little bit more into your hip. And maybe use a stop here if it just goes into the knee. Maybe you're not there yet with the hips. Otherwise, if you can allow it to go a little bit down, inhale, go into it. Go a little bit up. Move into the place. Hold. A little bit up. Go into place a little bit more. Hold. Stay here. Up. And then go into a place where you feel comfortable, but where you feel that you're working. And you should feel the sensation more on the outside area of your hips, an extension on the outside, on like the buttocks and the IG band. And a little bit of kind of extension here in your vastus lateralis in kind of the outside and inside of your legs. Your abductors and adductors. And stay down as long as you can. We're going to try to stay here for about 30 seconds, 45 seconds. If you find space as you're here, just try to go down. But then don't slump like we sometimes do when we're in Baddha Konasana, which is kind of the most flexed position of this pose. Instead of that, just try to show your chest to the front and then go forward from the hips. Forward from the hips. And forward from the hips. Place your hands down. If you have a block and it feels like it's too much, sometimes you can put your block under, then maybe your chest, you're very high of your head. You can go lower. Use a place where you feel you're like really working into it. And your block is allowing you to kind of not get overwhelmed by the sensation. Your hip are not the most flexible ones like mine are right now. So what happens when you go in a position like this is sometimes that your system gets overwhelmed, and it's a good practice for moments where you feel the same, moments where you feel like there's too many things and then you are about to explode. To try to stay in a pose as a way of finding a mechanism to find peace and a little bit of release, even in moments where you feel it's too much. You don't need to go into an area of pain, use an area of sensation. Last 2 breaths here. Try to go a little bit lower. And then slowly. We're going to try the same pose at the end to see if we kind of got a little bit more flexibility as we did. Beautiful. Now bring your hands on either side, on the outside of your knees, and slowly bring them in. Bring the feet a little bit closer to you, and then hug. If you see I'm wearing weights because I need to try to get the leg straight, you don't need to wear them. Bring your chest out, open your knees slightly. Exhale, go back. A little bit of a cat and cow, but sitting. Inhale up, open the legs, chest forward. Exhale back, knees together. Curve your spine. Inhale up, chest forward. Exhale. Inhale up, chest forward. Exhale. Inhale up, chest forward, and exhale. Start to come forward. If you are able to, just cross your legs and then try to go into hands and knees. I'm going to remove one of my weights. So please go into hands and knees, and then find the place where your knees are in 90-degree angle to your hips and your hands are into 90-degree angle with your shoulder. And just bring your toes in and then start engaging the back of the leg. A little bit of a cat and cow, just 3 cat and cows here, just to wake up. For those that are practicing this in the morning. Last one. And release. Okay. Staying here, what we're going to do is we're going to lift your right knee. And then feel that that lift comes from the hips. So you're not doing this. And you're like not changing the kind of the line of your hips. It's kind of the femur is coming into the hips. Then hold it there. From that elevation of your femur, then start to bring your leg to the side slowly. Then hold it. You can point your toe, you can flex it, what works for you. Hold it there. Hold 3, 2, 1. Now bring the knee forward. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. And then the same to the back. Hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. To the back, and then go high, opening the psoas. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee. A little bit higher up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And small up and down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to return now into the side as we were before. And last time is up and down with the knee. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Then your hip should have a small kind of warming sensation. Hopefully it's pleasant. We're going to do the same on the left side. So I'm going to turn so you can see the hips. First thing, push the floor away with your hands and your right knee, and then lift the left knee. Then make sure you're not bringing the hips up, the left hip area up, but that your femur is coming into your hip. And then from that initial integration, you bring your knee to the side and then hold it. We're in the weight. It's a little bit more difficult than the others. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is harder for me. And bring the knee forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is a little bit like an ab, like a core exercise. 5, again to the center. 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend to the back, up, opening the psoas. 5, 4, 3, 2, maybe a little bit higher. 1, bend the knee, a little bit higher. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return to where we were before. Stay here and then ups and downs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return to the side and then up and down. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And down. And both your hips should be like turning a little bit. You shake them as we shake the arms when we're working on the arms. We're going to do, once again, kind of exercises on both sides of the legs, but with a little bit more of pace. So hopefully our heart rate increases, and it also kind of allows a little bit of movement and flexibility to start to go into our hip area. So what we're going to do is just lift the knee up. So we lift it here first into the hip, then side and down, the other one and up, down, the other one, up and down, up and down, up into your hip socket, side and down, up into the hip socket, side, down, up into the hip socket, up, 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 down, up into the hip socket, and down, up into the hip socket. We're going to try to make it as fast as you can for the next 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 15, sorry, I'm so bad with numbers. 11, 10, 9, only 8 to go, 7, 6, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release back. If you have child's pose, if you can go down, you can do it. I cannot yet go that much into my flexion. This is as slow as I go. But go into your full child's pose and release. We're going to do one more of these isometric exercises. I'm going to show you on this side. So I need a little bit of space. So same thing, hands and knees. If you don't have the space to the sides, you continue doing it with the knee bent. If you have the space, and this is something that you can do whenever you are feeling, whenever you are in a sitting position for a quite a long time, and you feel you want to have a release, is you stand your leg to the back, show you how it looks from the side, extend the leg to the side, then completely straight, go to the side, then bring it up. Then side, then up. Okay, so we're going to do 20 of these on each side. It's going to get hard by the end. Again, hopefully it kind of brings a little bit of a warming sensation into your hips that is going to contribute eventually into allowing your hips to rotate a little bit more. Right, so extend the leg to the back. And you're going to bring it to the side and to the front as much as you can. And then up, maybe a little bit to the other side. And then side, then up, maybe a little bit to the side. Up, front, side, up, maybe to the other side. Up, side, front, side, back, and up, a little bit to the side, up, side, front, side, back, to the other side, up, side, front, side, up, and then we have still 12 to go. 11, 10. Now try to make them as fast as you can. Take your own count. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now you're possibly going to feel it on the other leg, on the other hip, on the IT band of the other side. A little bit of also into that hip area, but because you're putting a little bit of weight on the other side. The less you start to feel it on the other hip, the more means that the mobility in the leg that is lifting and doing the sides is working. But at the beginning, just kind of try to bring the awareness. Don't think about it as a failure. Just think about it as something that gives you information about your body. Then send it up and let's start. We start slow, side, front, side, back, up, the other side. Up, side, front, side, up, and up. And try to keep the hips aligned as much as you can. We are doing it nicely. We're almost halfway in. Just keep smiling. 11. Now, last 10. Try to do it a little bit faster, but just be aware that your hips are not changing direction too much. Make your own count. I am down to 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then release. Then shake your hips. Asymmetric exercises can be overwhelming. For now, we're just going to go down into your chest, into your belly, and we're going to start to work your hips into different areas. We're going to start laying down. And we're going to imagine we have glue into our hands, place the head down, and the head is not going to move. We're going to start to integrate a little bit of motion into the psoas and the hips as we lay down. We're going to start lifting one leg and the other. Try to keep them as straight as possible. One leg, the other. One leg, this also integrates the core, and the other. One leg and the other. One leg and the other. Now go down and try to do it as fast as you can, if possible, like a swimming sensation without the feet ever going down into the ground. And we're just going to stay here for 20 seconds. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 11, 12, 11, I told you I'm very bad counting. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And these you're going to feel normally more into your glutes and your lower back. But I find it like really gives me really nice warming sensation into the hips. And it starts to activate the psoas. It's also good for that. Right, now we're going to turn to one of the sides. We're going to continue with these asymmetric exercises. So place one hand down, and this is where I might have vertigo. So if I start with the vertigo, I'll just add it to continue. Then we're going to start lifting the leg, sending it to the side, moving it to the front, and then reversing. Then from the back, sending it to the front, up, and then down. So it's like reverse exercises. On the first one, we're going up, front, side, back, and then we're reversing that circle. And again, up, down, back, reverse the circle. And if you get confused and you start first down, and you just reverse the circle the other way. Then make sure that as you do that exercise, you are trying to keep a single line. Normally what we do is like, we come a little bit into a hammock place. We're going to do these 10 more times. Imagine like doing big circles with the leg on one side, then on the other. Big circles on one side, big circles on the other. Big circles on one side, big circles on the other. Last two, big circles on one side, and reverse it. Big circles on one side, and then reverse it. And last one, then reverse it. Nice. Make any small massage into your glutes and your hips. To release, we're going to change the side. Turn to the other side of the mat. Then I'm going to go down slowly because otherwise I get vertigo, especially on this side. Right, same thing. Front, forward, up, and down. And then reverse, 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 reverse. And the sun is really nice here. And then again, circles. And reverse the circle. Try to keep the legs as straight as possible. This is great exercise for me. Keep going. 5, 4. I feel like I took a lot into the other side, so we might add 2 more at the end. 3, 2. Last one. And maybe 2, because I think I took a lot into the other side. And even though I have a weight here, this is the side that needs my hip to be a little bit more lubricated. And then last one, and then release. Same thing. Massage your hip, give it some love. Once again, turn to the other side. Okay. This time we're going to bend the knees and then go into a little bit of half hammock. So your chest should be straight. Don't go inward. Don't go a little bit to the back. Don't back bend or slightly forward bend or crouch. Try to keep your spine as straight as possible. And then point your toes or keep them flexed. And then we're just going to start to open. It's called the clamp. You can do this into a little bit of a strength exercise if you add elastics here, which is what I add into my physiotherapy. But you don't need to do it. Something if you want to start working into your hips, if you want to start working on that rotation, and in that rotation coming from the hips, this is a great exercise. And then it also gives us a good break after the other one, which was a bit harder. 5 more. Try to go a little bit higher with your clamp. Close the clamp. Higher. Higher. Last one. Then higher, stay up. Then try to open as much as you can. Stay where is the maximum. Then as you stay in that maximum opening, try to send the leg that is up a little bit to the back. Close your eyes. Make sure your body is staying down on the floor. Then you're using a little bit of dynamic movement, elasticity in your fascia to open a little bit more. Keep going. Back, 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 back. And hold it into the maximum expression, really open, hold. 3, 2, 1. So this is like working your diamond shape, but from another position. And slowly, I'm gonna go to the other side. Really slowly, so the vertigo doesn't attack me again. And you can lay down on the floor. I'm not laying down because if I lay down, my vertigo comes in and I don't want it to kick. So you can put your hand, and I mean like in the beach, or just lay down, whatever is okay. You can also put a blanket or a pillow underneath. Same thing, clamming. Sorry. Then you'll see that in this side, for me, it doesn't go as that. That might be your case. I also have a weight, so it's not as easy. But if that's your case, you just notice the difference. Don't judge it. Just notice it Notice it. Notice. 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 Then maybe close the eyes and try to investigate deeply down why that's the case. Then if you heard that sound, that click, that is my hip socket getting a little bit, giving me a little bit more open. So you'll see now that it's going up. That's what happens with my leg. My left leg just makes funny noises and then it opens. Last two. Last one. Stay up. Then as I said, just find your maximum expression and stay there. Hold for 5. Maybe go a little bit higher. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then maybe go to the back. Small, dynamic, explosive, kind of a little bit of explosive exercise. Back, back. And then make sure you're not kind of going back with the exercise. Back, 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 back. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then open as much as you can. Hold 3, 2, 1. And release. Beautiful. Make your way up. Make your way up. We're now going to go into the full opening of the legs. And we're going to start up. So slowly make your way up in any way that is possible for you. In my case, I can't do much. I'm going to take the weight out, but go into a little bit of a funny way because my knee cannot bend still. Right. So find your Padottanasana position, your open leg position. Make sure it's not too wide, but it's not too narrow. So a little bit wider than your mat distance. Place your hands once again into your iliac bones, and from here, once again, press under and down as you start moving forward. As you start moving forward. Then go halfway. Then from there, just try to find a position where your legs are really working. Your adductors are really working here. Then you're just holding it with kind of those muscles activation. It's a great pose if you want to bring the legs forward, the hands forward. Then that increases the weight. And then your muscles are going to check. That's okay. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then strength into the legs. And then up. Beautiful. We're going to do these 5 times. Really slowly. Forward, forward, forward. Halfway. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then if the hands up is too much for you, then just bring them into your chest or halfway. Hands against opposite elbows. Hold 5, 4, smile. 3, 2, 1. And up, 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 down, 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 down. Hold. Up, 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 up. Last one. Down, 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 down. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly allow all your body to go down. Nice release. Take your breath. Push the mat away. Look forward. Exhale. And go as close to the mat as you can. Then once again, you can bring your hands into your hip socket, into your kind of iliac, into your iliac bones, and just try to go a little bit deeper. So think about their hips from the point of side of the femur and the hips. You really want the hip socket to roll forward and your femur to kind of go a little bit to the back to give you space. And if you cannot reach the floor, you can place a block under to give you that sense of control if it's too much for your head to use fly up. Then again, for me, this is a little bit of acceptance because I used to be able to go into the floor here. Right now I'm not, and that's okay. That's what happens. It's like a new opportunity to discover flexibility into my hips on a different way. Try to go a little bit deeper now. Maybe this time you touch the floor. And then inhale, walk your hands forward, look forward, hands into your hips, and then lift with the strength of the legs. Beautiful. We're going to do Padottanasana B, Padottanasana C, and Padottanasana D, as in the Ashtanga. So now, for the second one, bring your hands into your hips, bring your fingers looking up, then press with your thumbs into the sacrum. And we're going to use the hands as we go down to push your kind of lower back and kind of towards the back of your mat, towards your feet. Just stay there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly up. Up, controlled, controlled. Open your arms. Exhale, interlace the hands behind your back. Once again, move forward, 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 forward. And bring the hands to the front. Some cases you have really flexible shoulders and your hands can go down. Some of us, you're like me, a little bit stronger, and then not that flexible. That's okay. Stay down. Gravity is going to help you to move there eventually in this life or in other, or in your imagination. That doesn't matter. Hold here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and again up. Up with the strength of your legs, up, up. Last one, hands into the hips, forward, 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 forward. Grab your toes. And then inhale up, exhale down, 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 down. Your elbows pointing up. Hold. Once again, just think about your hips. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, look to the front. And now, a little bit of the hardest hip flexibility movement that we're going to do here. We're going to try to go into some sthiti. So we're going to try to open the legs as much as we can. And I cannot open them that much because of my knee. So I just accept where I am. And I place my elbows down as low as I can. And I know it's not as lower as before. That's okay. I just hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again into your hands. And if you can, maybe you just sit down with your legs open from here. Otherwise, lift, and I'll give you some space for you to find myself, like go down and find your open leg position here. We're going to work now in Arkonasana. This is the last part of the whole practice. We're going to do a little bit of abs, and then we'll finish. So we're going to do a mix of abs and flexibility. Hopefully you're all into the mat now. So the first thing we're going to explore is the actual flexibility of the pose. You're going to place your hands forward. Then think about kind of moving your hips up and then down again. So you really kind of go down into your C pose. Again, hands to the front, hands to the front, hands to the front, hands to the front, to the point where it's too much, where your body is telling you, I cannot do it anymore. Point your toes and hold it there. And accept it where it is, and then use allow gravity to help you to go down. Then my legs are shaking, and I know that's where I'm not moving from it for now. That's okay. Hold here, 5, 4. You can go lower, you can. Awesome, if not, you cannot. 3. My legs is moving like crazy. 2. 1. Slowly go up, slowly go up. And notice any difference on the inside muscles. And my foot stopped moving. You saw it. Right. We're now going to use the abs to allow you to kind of have control over these opening as higher or kind of closer that it is. It could be as open as mine, even opener, like you were in your complete open leg position, or it can be a lot narrower, and that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start working on the abs, and then that sensation of lifting that we have been working on the last classes. First thing is you're going to turn your chest towards the right or left, doesn't matter. Just remember the first leg that you started with. Then you're going to place your hands on either side of your leg. Move your chest forward, bend your elbows. And then for the first one, the only thing we're going to try to do is lift your hips. Lift. And hold here. 5, 4, 3, smile. 2, 1. Down. And then fall forward. As you fall forward, avoid this lifting of the other hips. Try to move it down and then go as low as you can. 5, 4, actively press the other hip down. 2, 1. Moving to the other side. Same thing. Chest in line with the other leg. We're going to start going down. Hands on either side of your leg, your upper leg. Move down, bend the elbows. And then you're going to lift the hips. And lift the hips. 5, 4, smile. 3, 2, 1. And then release down. Avoid the other hip going up. Press it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And lift. Now center. Yes, I need to do the center as well. So press your hands forward. You can also press one hand forward, one hand back. We're going to try the 2 hands forward first, and then we'll see. And if it's not possible, we try with the hands, one hand on either side, right? But you're going to do the same. You're going to go forward, forward, forward until your elbows bend. And your hand should be close to the legs, not super close, but close enough. And as you're down, you're going to press into the mat and try to lift the hips. 1, 2, 3, 5, smile. 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Going back into the first leg. As we go into the first leg, this time, we're going to try to lift one leg or both. Going to the side. Bend your elbows. Don't think about the result. Think about lifting and seeing where you go. 1, 2, 3, and go. Maybe both legs, maybe one leg. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe they lifted, maybe they don't. Doesn't matter. Forgive yourself for not getting into it. It doesn't make you a better person. And if you see me and you say, oh, she just went out of the surgery and she can do it. Well, for like 2 months, the only thing I could do were arms. So my arms are very strong now. That's all what it is. And then it doesn't also make me a better person. So Now let's go to the other side. Ready? Maybe we lift, maybe we don't. Go down, bend the elbows. Don't think about the result, but just close eyes and imagine you lifting the legs. 3, 2, 1. Push. Maybe this side you can do it. Maybe you cannot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this side is a lot harder for me. My left leg is just too heavy for me on this side. And again, I notice the differences. I know I need to work a little bit more. So maybe I stop the video right now and then I work a little bit more here. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. And as I say, it doesn't make you a better person. We're gonna go into the center. And same thing, we're gonna try to lift, but if you don't lift, that is completely okay. Go down. Is you trying what matters. Forward, and then 3, 2, 1, and lift. Maybe you lift the legs, maybe you don't. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Shake the legs, shake the legs, shake the legs. Then go down, 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 down. And see if you can go lower than before. Maybe you can. I can actually go a little bit lower than before. And then here is where I told you, you can use a block, a book, any kind of pillow, a jog wheel. You can also do it. And what we're going to do is something that slides nicely into the mat. So you can do a little bit of dynamic elastic movement as we go up and down. So go down, then use something that slides to move forward. Then if you have kids in your house, these kind of things really work as well. Just going back and forth. That is allowing you to find your maximum through elastic movement, through dynamic flexibility. Close the eyes and release. You can also have a towel, and then if the towel slides, I don't know where I have my towel here. If the towel slides, then you're also cleaning that part of the floor really nicely. If you have a carpet, then a book normally slides one way. Then find your maximum. Keep the hands into wherever you have them. Then use accept where you are. Accept where you are. For the last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 as we did before. Lift the hands, lift the hands, lift the hands, and then lift, lift, lift from the legs. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to go back into the first position that we did, and then we're going to have a rest. So from here, just bend the knees. My left leg is bothering because it's been straight for quite a long time. Have to be nice with it. Find your diamond shape again. Maybe you want to have your block close by. You want to have your pillow. In any case, we're going to go forward as we did at the beginning of the class. Then we're going to find out if we progress or we didn't. And then either way is fine. Feeling any differences into the muscle activation here, into the knees. What I do notice after all these exercises is that as I go forward, I don't feel any kind of pain into my knee. It feels that the engagement goes a lot more into my hip area. Find a place to rest.
starting to release. At the same time, a little bit of an active exercise to finish. Notice any difference on the hips. A big last deep in breath and out. Go as deep as you can. Stay with that image of how deep you can, and then just go back, back, and back.
Beautiful. You can keep your legs as they are, or bring them into Baddha Konasana, which I can't show you because my knee doesn't bend that much more than here. Or half Baddha Konasana like I do half because of my current limited mobility with my knee. And then you can go back. You can make this into a bit of a gym exercise by placing the pillow into the back and then lift a little bit. I cannot lay down because I had an episode of vertigo this morning, so I have to try to keep my head up. But otherwise, you can move your head back. I'm just going to stay here, like I was on the beach. And you can keep the hips open. Then again, if that's too much, even after the class, you just place blocks underneath, books underneath. I'm not going to stay up because my vertigo is not helping with it today. Right, let's stay a little bit higher. Then use it to work a little bit into my back bends. That's okay. Close your eyes wherever you are. If this is too much for you, then what you can do is release the feet, move the hips into about hip distance apart, and then move into your Shavasana. Just keep the eyes closed. Bring the hands into the hips. Then again, notice any differences. Maybe there are big differences, maybe there are not. Either way, it's a kind of trip of discovery. It's a good way of discovering what is going on into your legs, into your hips. How can you progress into your flexibility journey without putting your knee in jeopardy? Nice deep breath. And start moving your toes, your legs. Maybe you want to bend the knees and move the knees side to side. Maybe you want to go into a little bit of a twist. Maybe you want to bring your knees into your chest and just hug them. They say you can't do that, all that, because my vertigo, they go down. I might get an episode of vertigo again, which you want to avoid for now. Slowly start to make your way up into sitting position. And I'm going to move back into my extended legs position, my Dandasana, which is now my favorite pose because it helps me with extension of the legs. And my weight is going to go back in. Whatever that sitting position is, notice how having a little bit more of fluidity in your hips area, it allows you to sit maybe stronger and higher. For the last 5 seconds of the practice, Just try to go as high as you can. Try to be as tall as you can from the hips. Use the hips as a base for you to grow up into the sky, into the clouds. You can stay here in meditation if you want. Or you can bring your hands into a prayer position. And use fall forward and down. And again, use that movement into your hips that we learned today to go forward and down. Namaste, everyone. Thanks for coming to the class. Hopefully you feel a little bit of a nicer hips today. Bye.